Okay, Rabbi say, what happens if someone forgets to say the day of Sefiras haOmer? Let's go back to the sources, to the original discussion of this shaila in the Rishonim. Starts off as a Tosfos in Menachos of Samach Vav. Menachos is the Gemara. This Alma talks about Sefiras haOmer. Tosfos over there says, first line, the second word, Oid. Oid pasak b'halachas gedolos. Another psak from the b'halachas gedolos is what a sefer of the called the bahag b'al halachas gedolos. Shem hifsik yom echad. Someone missed a day, v'lei safar shuv eini sefer. He cannot count anymore Sefiras haOmer. He lost the chance according to the bahag. Shem debayit mimis needs to be a complete 49 days. This is what Tosfos is quoting from the Bahag. The Tosfos comments on this. Tema gedolahu, this is a great wonder. The lo yitachen is not possible. Lo yitachen. To say someone missed one night, so you missed the mitzvah. Same thing we find in the Rush. The next thing, the Rush, in the ending of Pesachim, he brings v'oid, with the period, in the first line, v'oid kasa bahag, the Baal Halachos Gedolos writes, Shem hifsik yom echad v'lei siper shuv eni sofer divinin tmimis. The Torah said tmimot tiyana. It's not complete. So Vein Ilri says the Rabbeinu Yitzchak, the Ri, no, I don't agree with this. And here he explains the chol laila v'laila mitzvah fnei. Every night is a different mitzvah. So you missed one night, you shouldn't count the next night.
You know, Staradim in Shachrit after Ashrei. Not Asher,
Second
Asher. They said, Hayom 20 Yom LaOmer Shevne, without bracha. Automatically.
The whole key, the chazan?
Everybody.
Together.
Everybody. Just in case somebody miss.
Very good. Very good.
Without bracha.
Right. So here we see a machloikis in the mitzvah. The Bahag is saying, you missed the tmimot, it's not complete. Tosfos says no, kol laila v'laila is a fnei atzma.
Wow.
So it's independent. The Yitzchak Geius writes in Hilchos Pesach, another one of the Rishonim, he also says that you should continue counting, and he brings it out like this. Mi she'achol shum, someone who ate garlic, v'reicha nadef, and his breath is smelling. Should he eat again garlic and his breath smells? It's not going to help him. So just because, but his point is, just because you missed one day of the mitzvah, should you miss again? Should you miss again? There's no point in missing again. You missed one day, okay, the next day go back. You missed one, miss again? What type of takana is that? So you see, the Balei HaTosfos, they do not agree with the sheet of the Bahag that if you miss a day, you cannot count anymore. Further, we see from the Chinuch, the Sefer HaChinuch, mitzvah Shem Vav, by the first line, V'yesh oimrim, shemi sheshachach, v'leimani yemechad shenyachal limas oy b'is hashana. Some say, which is the Bahag, if you forget to count, you cannot continue to count that year anymore. Shekula mitzvah achasem, it's all one mitzvah. Mikiva sheshachar v'yem echad, hadikol hacheshbon batam menu, missing the whole cheshbon. V'lehoyidu meireinu shebedereinu, the svarazu. Our Rebbe in our generation do not agree with this. Someone who forgets continues counting with everyone else.
I think it's the right thing to do.
Shulchan Aruch. This comes down to halacha and Shulchan Aruch. Because of this machlokes, so because it's brachot, we're very machmer by any suffix and bracha levatala. Mishachach levarech be'echad mehayamim. Bein yom nisham bein shar yamim, soifer b'shar yamim b'loi bracha. If one forgot one of the days, whether it's the first day or the other days, you can still you cannot count the other days with a bracha anymore. Sofer below bracha. Why? Because he's concerned for the bahag. The bahag says you can't count anymore. On the other hand, all the other Rishonim say you could. So count, but don't say bracha. Aval im mesupek im dilig yom echad v'lei sofar sebesh ayam bracha. If someone is not sure if I missed a day, did I say last night? Did I not say last night? Not sure. Then you could say the rest of the day is a bracha. It doesn't explain the reason, but the reason is based on a concept called svek sveika. When you have one suffix, the klal and brachot is suffix brachot lahakel. Not to say the bracha, because it's not for sure. But if you have two sveikas to the direction that you should say the bracha, called svek sveika, we allow you to say the bracha. For example, over here, we have two sveikot. What's a two sveikot? One suffix is, maybe the halacha is like the bahag, it's one mitzvah, but maybe the halacha is like taisva is that you every kol laila mitzvah that's, so I could count. So that's one suffix. That's one suffix. Maybe I'm one suffix, one sad to the direction I could count again, because with a bracha, because maybe the halacha is kol laila v'laila mitzvah f'ne'atzma. But on the other hand, I have the bahag. What should I do? He says no, it's one mitzvah. But I have a second suffix. I am not sure. Maybe I did count. So it's two svekot. That maybe I did count. Maybe it was good. So I can continue counting
with a bracha.
With a bracha. But that's in a case where you're mesupek. The halacha, the Mishnah Berurah brings down like this. What happens about ladies? Ladies that like to count. So he brings down from a sefer, B'sefer Shulchan Shleima, writes, Al Kopanu Leivarchu, the lady should not make brachot. From the beginning of Sefiras haOmer. Why? The Vada Yitu Yecha. For sure the women are going to make a mistake. They're not so careful with it. They try to do it, but they eventually get...
Not my wife. Every night I come from the shiur. She had the char.
So she's not from this group.
She loved this mitzvah.
V'gam al pi rov einam yodim pirush hamilos. A lot of times they don't know the meaning. This is what the Mishnah Berurah brings.
How many men does it not pirush hamilim also saying the bracha?
We have many, but but ladies, this is not the minhag. Ladies do say with the bracha. Now, so what do we see from here? We are choishish, we are concerned for the bahag. Even though the main halacha is like the other opinions, kol laila v'laila mitzvah f'ne'atzma, because it's brachot, we're very concerned. Shouldn't make a bracha l'atala. Therefore, since the Baal Halachas Gedolos held, if you miss a day, you can't count again. We don't say it with a bracha anymore. You missed a chance. Comes along the Minchat Chinuch, on the Sefer Chinuch, the Minchas Chinuch has a pirush, and he has some very interesting discussions. According to the opinion of the Bahag, it's one mitzvah. So he has a discussion what's going to be when a cotton who becomes a bar mitzvah, middle Sefiras haOmer.
In the middle of Sefiras haOmer.
Right. So until now he was counting as a cotton. Now he is counting
as a gadol.
For real, as a gadol. Cotton shen is gadol ve'asfira. So can the sfira which he counted when he was younger connect to the sfira afterwards? Memela, according to the shita, the kol laila mitzvah f'ne'atzma, doesn't make a difference. Every night's different. But according to the shita, the bahag, it's one mitzvah. Part of his mitzvah was in his mind that he was not mechuyev.
Right.
So is that enough to allow him to continue to count or not? As well, also a eved. An eved, a slave shenishtachar that was freed. While he was an eved, he was like a isha. He was potter from mitzvah seishas mangram. He was potter from So let's say he was saying it, but he was potter. Now he became freed. He's like everyone else. He's chayev. Can he, according to the bahag, can he continue counting with a bracha, or what he said when he was an eved does not count because
it's exactly a katan. The same situation.
Same question.
Yeah.
Here we have on the top of the page with the dot. I am doubtful, according to this shita of the bahag. Even though he's not chayev, but he counted like the children count because of chinuch. Or an Eved counted before
You got free.
freed. Gamkin. Kirashoy last mitzvah seishas man grama. He's allowed to do a mitzvah seishas man grama. Kimavor v'makamakam, the second page. B'shas. Over Emerson is Gadol HaKatan Mishtachar Eved. The middle of Sefiras haOmer, the child grew up, or he was the Eved was freed. He mechuyev min haTorah limes begalusa begerusa b'shanahi. Can he continue counting as an adult now, or as being a freed slave? Can he continue counting the Sefira? Where David, we're discussing here that is a machlokes of Sefiras haOmer is one long mitzvah, a mitzvah achas, or is it 49 separate mitzvahs? Kol laila mitzvah fnei atzma. So the Minchas Chinuch has an interesting hakir discussion according to the opinion of the Bahag, the Baal Halachas Gedolos, one of the Rishonim. He held it's all one long mitzvah. If you miss a day, it's interconnected, interrelated. You can't continue because you lost the count. You're missing the count. Others disagreed, say every night is independent. You missed a night, you got to continue counting. So he discusses according.
Well, that's the shot, of course, is continue counting with or without a bracha.
Right. So according to Tosfos, you could count with a bracha. La halacha, we are concerned for the sheet of the Bahag that says it's all one mitzvah, and if you missed it, you lost the mitzvah. So therefore, we do not continue counting with a bracha. We continue counting without a bracha.
Right.
So we'll continue counting because we want to be yoytz the mitzvah according to Tosfos and other Rishonim say that every night's independent. We don't want to say with a bracha because there is a sheet which says that you lost the count. Now, since the Minchas Chinuch, I have a shaila, says to you. Someone who becomes bar mitzvah during Sefiras haOmer, he was counting, but he wasn't counting. He wasn't chayiv. He was a child. He was doing it for chinuch purposes. So maybe he was doing it as a mitzvah midrabanan of chinuch, but now he's an adult. He's chayiv min haTorah to do the mitzvah. Can he continue, according to the opinion of the Bahag, that's one mitzvah? Can he continue counting with a bracha? Or did he lost the count because the days that he counted earlier were all when he was a minor? Does what he counted as a minor help to mitzdarif to continue the cheshbon, the calculation of the Sefira? This is
Or does it relate back? Which is what you just asked.
Yeah. Fourth line. Mi nema. Middle of the fourth line. Mi nema. Do we say the bekivan the bepater chiyuv the bechiv p'tor tayim also? Is it dependent whether you're obligated or you're exempt from the mitzvah? Bekivan shaya pater, since he was pater when he was a katan, af shaman, even though he counted, but he was really exempt from the mitzvah. Mikomak kivish mitzvah achasi, it's one complete mitzvah according to the sheet of the Bahag. Or mikoidim and chayiv, and before he was bar mitzvah, he was not obligated. Gamata in chayiv min haTorah. Also now he's not going to be chayiv min haTorah anymore because he didn't have the full 49 days. We do not force him to count, require him to count like all other mitzvahs.
But for chinuch, you know.
Well, wait, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. When his father counted, did not have a relationship to the members of his family who did not count?
Here we're talking that the child did count. But the question is, if the children's counting is considered counting as opposed to as a gadol.
He's not obligated.
Right.
He's obligated.
Now he's obligated. So according to the opinion of Tosfos, that every night's independent, we don't have a shaila, because of course you can continue with a bracha. According to the Bahag, held it's all one long mitzvah, and you missed a day, you lost it. So is this considered missed? Did he miss those days or not? Let's see. Oy Dilma. Or perhaps, even Shemana Afshahayib Potter, the last line of the first paragraph. Even though he counted when he was exempt, we call Makim still in Leibatal Cheshbon. Calculation was not nullified. Al Kopanim. Chayim Mekan Lava. Since he counted. So even though he was Potter, but he did do the mitzvah. Ometzino. So regarding a katan, shenis gadol, it's easier to deal with than regarding a slave who was freed, an Evet Shenishtacher. Why? Because well, we'll talk about this outside, but basically, he says, by a cotton, there is a sheet and rishonim that hold that even if you're chayiv midrabanan, like even if you're only doing something midrabanan, it can help you for a minat Torah.
It can help.
Be yoytza something minat Torah. For example, what I'm not in the sugya now, but he mentions an example of doing kiddush on Erev Shabbos from Plag HaMinchanan, right? An hour and a quarter before Shabbos. I don't mean literally an hour and a quarter. I mean the hour and a quarter.
Within that time.
Of every day. Every day has its own hour and a quarter. And if you divide the time of the day in 12, from sunrise to sunset, you divide the time in 12. Those are the Torah hours. An hour and a quarter of those hours are called Plag HaMincha, because Mincha Ketana is 2.5 hours before night. Plag means half. Plag half is an hour and a quarter. So we know you're allowed to take in Shabbos early, up to an hour and a quarter before Shabbos, of these hours, right? Now, that is Ba'etza Midrabanan. He brings that. That's Midrabanan. Minat Torah, Shabbos is only Shabbos once it's nightfall. You want to take in Shabbos early. You could accept Shabbos upon yourself, but that's rabbinical, the way what he brings down.
But Shabbos is also out with the rights at a certain time too, with the Ramadan, no?
Yeah. So Lamaisa, if someone when does a person who makes Shabbos early, when does he make Kiddush? Before night. Before nightfall. But it's seemingly Kiddush is a mitzvah min haTorah. The time of Erev Shabbos, which is not dark yet, is only midrabanan Shabbos. According to the Shita. I don't know. I don't think all opinions agree with that. But according to the Shita and the Rishonim, and he still know it works. So you see that midrabanan can help for man haTorah. Even though that you're doing the mitzvah and haTorah in a time which is only midrabanan Shabbos, you were considered yoytza biblically. The Torah itself recognizes what the Chachamim say. The Torah recognizes what the Chachamim say. So similarly here, since he was a katan, he was a child, and he was chayiv in chinuch, up when he was the age of chinuch, or whatever age the age of chinuch is for Sefiras haOmer, he was chayiv in chinuch to count up until bar mitzvah. So you're right, it was midrabanan, but he was chayiv midrabanan. So now he's chayiv in haTorah, but it should help what he counted midrabanan to continue into the minat Torah, just like you can make kiddush and it's man midrabanan. This is his example. So therefore, he's not so bothered with the shaila of a katan, of a child, of a minor that becomes bar mitzvah and Sefiras haOmer, because there he feels there's room to be lenient.
Only Eved he has a problem.
Eved, you have a problem because the Eved is no chinuch chiyuv chinuch. A slave is chayiv and mitzvah just like a woman. There's only one mitzvah which is different.
It's Eved Ivri we're talking.
Yeah, an Eved Ivri. The only mitzvah that he's chayiv different is that he is not. No, even an Eved Kanaini.
Why is it Sefiras haOmer?
No. Even an Eved Kanaini, when he is taken in, he has to accept upon himself mitzvahs like a isha. It's a sort of like a gerut.
It's what says man grama.
Now, but he's pater. There's no chiyuv chinuch. So there you have the shayla more. There's no chiyuv at all, not even midrabanan as an eved.
Right.
So what's going to continue the cheshbon? So that's where my ikka shayla is, he explains. Let's see. The second paragraph. B'Megillah, the Mardchai, the Rishon, Mardchai Megillah, Hevi Sefiras ben Tuvim in Vienna. He brought the Svara, ben Tuvia, Muvagam came, ben Magen Avraham is also part of the Magen Avraham Simcha Beites, Amachoy Midrabanan. Someone who's chayiv midrabanan is able to moitzi a chiyuv min haTorah. he can be mitzi someone with an obligation in that Torah. The yoytze b'kiddush hayoim plaga mincha l'mayla. Out of Shabbos. You are yoytze kiddush from plaga mincha on. Imkain, if so, k'moidi yoytze b'kiddush al Shabbos. Just like someone is yoytze kiddush on Shabbos, is man d'Rabbanan. Kiddush is minat Torah. Taking in Shabbos from plaga mincha on is midrabbanan. Still all your yoytze minat Torah. In Cain, so too, a katan shen is gadol, a minor that becomes a gadol in Sefiras haOmer, the al kopanim higil l'chinuch koydem, which he at least he was mechayiv in chinuch midrabbanan. Bevadai moyel oz hazman shebechayiv midrabbanan li's chayiv achkam minat Torah. For sure, it's going to help that time that he counted when he was a chayiv midrabbanan, that he should be obligated minat Torah after his bar mitzvah.
The chinuch is very.
The ein cheshbon batel, and the cheshbon is not batel, and it's a good cheshbon. Ella be'evid shtacher, by an evid shtacher mesupik ani, the next big paragraph on the bottom. I am doubtful. Imana b'avdusa, if he for some reason wanted the mitzvah, he's not chayiv. Just like a isha counts, he also wants to count mitzvah. Eine mitzvah also gets a char. In batel hacheshbon, is the cheshbon batel? Kivin she'ein mechoyik is not obligated. Al kapanim kivin she'asa mitzvah. Since he did a mitzvah, afilu b'ptor. Moyel al achakach in the cheshbon batel. The cheshbon should help afterwards with tzarech iyun. And he has, we need to look into this shayla. B'haya nira, seems to me, lahavi raya k'tzas din zeh. I want to bring a little bit of a raya for this halacha. What would be the case, the halacha by Evish and Ishtacher? Miperek habal yivimte, it's a Gemara in Yevamis. Hayale banim begayusai, someone had children. When he was a guy, he was not a non-Jewish person that had children, had a boy and a girl. When his guy and he converted. Kivan desire miyuchas is he Mekayim period Rivya. He had a boy and a son. It's a chiyuv to have a boy and a daughter, a boy and a girl. He had the boy and a girl when he was a guy. Now he became a ger. Does he have to again have children, or was he yoytze? The mitzvah minat Torah was he yoytze already when he was a guy? So the halacha is that a guy who has children, the children are considered his children. An eved, a slave who has children while he's a slave, the children are not considered his children.
It's a master.
Now there's no yichus. But by a guy's children are considered miyuchas. So since they were his children, he had children. He was considered the father of the children. Now that he's a yid, is it considered as if he did the mitzvah? He had children in this world. Kivan desire miyuchas kiyah and mitzvah shapir yivarivya. Even though that siyas hamitzvah, the line starts with hamitzvah hayibizman sheyapater. When he did the mitzvah, he did it when the time when he was exempt. He had the children when he was a guy. He was exempt from period Rivya. The bnei noyach a mitzvah period Rivya can verse Sanhedrin. They are potter exempt from period Rivya. Mikol makim still in all kayim hamitzvah motel us all of the Gemara says that he fulfilled his mitzvah. Bizman achiyuv given the mikol makim yeshabanim. Since he still has those children, they're still alive, and now that he's a yid, he was Mekayim, the mitzvah, peri v'rivya. Gewaldige Gemara.
Aren't they called the Ingro Shebe?
What?
Isn't the child of a Jewish mother and a guy called an Ingro Shebe?
Here we're talking about, he was Mamash a guy.
Right.
Him and his wife were guy.
Right. Oh, both
a guy.
Oh, okay.
And he had a boy and a girl. Now he became a ger. Does he now need to go again and have a boy and a girl, or was he yaitza? So since they're still here, they're still alive, the Gemara says he's yaitza. He has children.
But if the boy and the girl mitgaya also, so he doesn't need. They're already Jews.
You're saying even if they're not Megaya, he has.
But if the mitgaya, the kids, I don't think he needs to get married again to have forever either. The mitgaya, they're Jewish now.
The kids? No, the kids have to decide when they're bar mitzvah.
Of course. So let's see.
I don't know. We have to know if the children became gerim also. Now the children are not considered his children anymore because someone is
why he is mitgaya and they're mitgaya. If they're not Midgarim, it's a question.
We have a lot of cases where kids are adopted and then they're raised Jewish. Because they're adopted and going.
Hachi Nami, so too, he wants to bring a raya from this Gemara. A far left field raya. Even now that he's an Eved who becomes freed, Evish and Shtacher, now he is Chayim min HaTorah. Earlier he was Potter. The mitzvah which he did when he was exempt is good for him now, and he's Chayim min HaTorah. Just like you see over there, when he did the mitzvah, was he chayiv to have those children? He's not chayiv. Ben Noach is pater. Now that he is chayiv, he was yoytze from what he did then. Similarly, he wants to say, maybe when the average shenishtacher, if he counted Sefiras haOmer while he was an Eved, even though he was exempt from counting Sefiras haOmer, but now that he is shtacher and he became like a ger, a slave which is free, becomes mamish chayiv in all the tayag mitzvahs. Now that he's chayiv in all the tayag mitzvahs, lamafreya, whatever he counted then should help him. Just like the children that a guy has helped him and the man becomes a ger, helps him fulfill the mitzvah. Should help him that the mitzvah Sefiras haOmer should be continuation. He could be able to count with a bracha. This is the Minchas Chinuch. I want to give over here, maybe we'll say it outside. The Rebbe has a beautiful mahalach over here in this sugya. Sefiras haOmer, Shaila. The Rebbe ties it in like this, you know. The Rebbe has a beautiful understanding of the Shita of the Bahag. You know, remember earlier we spoke that the Machlokes Rishonim, whether every night is an independent mitzvah or it's a mitzvah achas. The Baal Halachas Gedolos is held, it's a mitzvah achas. If you miss the night, you cannot continue because it says Tmima is Tiyana. It's not complete 49 days, you lost the mitzvah. It's finished. There's no point in counting anymore. But the Baal HaToisa said, no, Kol Laila V'Laila mitzvah finats, it's independent mitzvah. Now, Shaila we have over here is like this. According to the sheet of the Baal Halachas Gedolos, the Bahag, who held us one mitzvah, why, according to him, do we say a bracha every night? If it's not independent mitzvah, why are we saying exactly? Say in the beginning, say at the ending. Yeah. Why are we saying every night? So
and maybe say a shechiyah.
Very stark kasha.
Yeah.
Right. Not only that, maybe we shouldn't even be allowed to say a bracha because in the beginning, for sure, because we don't know if we're going to complete. Maybe we'll forget. So according to him, it's one mitzvah. It's going to become a bracha l'vatala, right? So we have to understand the sheet of the Bahag. You hold it's one mitzvah, but we know there's no suffix about it. We say a bracha every night. That is no machlokes about. Why would you hold we say a bracha every night if it's one mitzvah? Another issue is we know the minig is that women also like to count Sefiras haOmer. And they start saying with a bracha, and a lot of times, most of them, not all of them, they somewhere in the middle, they take a vacation and they don't manage to get through. Now maybe they have reminders and alarms and different things, but Lamaisa, we shouldn't even be allowing them to start counting, because they're going to forget.
Well, that was a bracha. You're saying they shouldn't be able to.
L'chatchila, they start with a bracha. Then when they forget, they don't count with a bracha. But how could they even count with a bracha when they forget?
Yeah.
So the Rebbe, anyways, has a mahalach to them like this. He wants to makarev the two shitas to each other. The shita of the Bahag, who says it's one mitzvah, he really agrees that it's also every night an independent mitzvah. He agrees it's independent. And that's why you say a bracha every night. And that's why women and men say a bracha right from the beginning, even though maybe you're going to forget. What is pshat when he says once you're missing, you can't continue counting anymore? If every night's dependent count, the Bahag held ein chanami every night's a separate mitzvah. But because the din of Tamimois Tehiyana, the Torah gave us a din that it has to be complete. Every Sefira has to be complete. So I can't say tonight's Asara Yamim, Hayom Asara Yamim, if I'm missing a day. If I didn't count 9, how could I say Hayom Asara Yamim? So the Rebbe explains, it's not Pshat that L'mafrei Brachas L'vatolas. No. Up until 8, up until 9, everything is good. You counted every night a separate mitzvah. You counted every night with a hemshich. You didn't miss anything. So the first 8 nights were good. You missed 9. Now you can't continue counting according to the Bahag. Now you lost the count. Not l'mafreya retroactively. Because even the Bahag agrees that every night's an independent mitzvah. His issue is a separate issue. The Torah tells you a separate halacha, Timimis Tiyana, has to be complete. Complete doesn't mean I have to have all 49. Complete means that every Sefira, when I count tonight, it has to be a complete count, a connection to earlier. I have to count a complete counting. I'm saying Hayom Asara has to be real. It has to be Asara 10 days. If I don't have 10 days, I can't say it's 10 days, according to the Bahag. According to the Rebbe's Mahalach, comes out really every night's a separate mitzvah. And that's why even according to the Bahag, we make a bracha every night. And therefore we could start counting even if maybe we'll forget, because when we're going to forget, we'll forget, and then on we can't count with a bracha. But until then, it's good. So according to this, the Bahag is not so far away from the Tosfos. He agrees, essentially. Just as a side mitzvah of Tamimis Dina, which connects the days to each other. So L'maisa, now that we understand the Bahag in this light, let's take the next step. What is really the issue? Why according to the Bahag, that every night why can you not continue counting if you didn't miss the day? What's the issue? The issue is because you missed part of the mitzvah? No. Every night is independent mitzvah he holds. You didn't miss the mitzvah. You can't count because you cannot say 10 if you don't have 9. You physically can't. You cannot say 10 if you're missing 9. It's not pshat because you missed out a part of the mitzvah. It's pshat is you can't say something which is not true. Torah says you have to have the Sefiras connected. Every night when you said the Sefira, your Sefira has to be a complete Sefira. So according to this, says the Rebbe, maybe Ein Chanami, when the Eved or the Katan counted, they counted in a time when they were Potter, and now they're Eved Shenashtach or Katan Shenas Gadol, they're Chayiv and Sefira. So the Shaila is, according to the sheet of the Bahag, can they continue counting? Says the Rebbe, why not? If we would learn that it's a mitzvah, they missed a part of the mitzvah, you're right. How could they didn't have a mitzvah before? Help. Either the Katan, it's only midrabanan, maybe it doesn't help from that Torah. But if we learn that, not pshat that they missed the mitzvah. Really every night it's an independent mitzvah. The reason why you can't continue counting is because your counting was not complete. So maybe the counting that the Eved counted, or the Katan count as an Eved, as a Katan, even though they were Potter, and it was not a mitzvah, but they counted. They physically counted. Maybe that physical count is enough to allow you to continue counting. Until now, the way we learned before that Rebbe Shita, you can't say that. Because until now, Pshat in the Bahag is that it's all the 49 days are kipshutai, one mitzvah achas. You missed a day, it's not Pshat, you missed a detail. You missed the whole mitzvah. It's one complete. Mashenk or the Rebbe Shita, every night really is also a separate mitzvah. And that's why you make a bracha every night. Elamai, you can't continue counting going forward, because you missed part of your count. Your cheshbon is button. But if I counted, even if it wasn't a mitzvah, so who says I can't continue counting? I have a hemshich, even if it wasn't a mitzvah. So this is something that the Rebbe discusses. And basically the difference of opinion is that according to the Minchas Chinuch, it has to be, you need to have a mitzvah. He's looking out that it has to been a mitzvah. The time when the Rebbe counted, it wasn't a mitzvah. But according to the Rebbe Shita, we don't need that the previous time should be a mitzvah. We need the previous time should be a counting. The mitziut, you counted. The reality is you counted. You can continue counting. There was a guy, I heard a story in England, there was someone who knew he was going to go through a surgery and a procedure during Sefiras haOmer, and he was going to be out for 24 hours. He knew he was going to miss a whole, well, not if the surgery itself was so long, but the recovery, whatever it was, he was not going to, right, he's going to be out for, he was not going to be able to count Sefiras haOmer for a day. He went and asked his Rav, before Sefiras haOmer, can I continue counting? Can I start counting with a bracha? The halacha is once you miss a day, you can't continue counting. I know I'm going to miss a day before I start the Sefira. So maybe I lechatchila can't even start counting with a bracha because I'm missing the count. So his shaila is like the way it's commonly understood, traditionally understood this machlokes 100%. It's a very good shaila, and the chore he can't. Because since we are choishish for the words of the Bahag, it's one mitzvah achat, and he's missing, so he can't continue. But according to the way the Rebbe explains, and there are other acharim that also say this, understand that this mitzvah, that really, it's not pshat when we say the Bahag's mitzvah achas, that you are missing, that whatever you counted till now was nothing worth. No. Whatever you counted till now was a good. You can't continue counting because your cheshbon is batal. You're not keeping up the cheshbon. So up until the surgery, he could continue counting with a bracha. He could count with a bracha. Because according to the Rebbe Shita, every night's an independent mitzvah. The only thing that when you miss a day, you can't count going forward. Whatever you count till now was good. Because when you said 9, 10, it was all good. Everything was good. The Shaila also on Achreinim discussed if Leilenu someone's a oinen in the days of Sefiras haOmer.
Someone what?
A oinen means a day that a person lost a parent before the burial. So then, as a person's potter from all mitzvahs in the Torah.
Right.
If you're in the same town.
Can daven, can put tefillin.
Right.
Is he allowed to, or is he not allowed to?
It's a discussion about it.
Well,
Allowed to.
If he's allowed to, I would suggest that he just does it not to ruin the...
And one of the stories...
Mashal the Welt, no, people they don't put on tefillin that day.
Yeah.
They don't put on tefillin. Chabad they do after the Levaya.
Oh, Chabad do?
Yeah.
After the Levaya.
Some other Hasidim do too, by the way.
Well, the other question is about crossing the international date line. That's always been a
That's a whole
shaila.
separate share.
Right.
Yeah, it's all different, separate share in, right?
So the Maisa...
Shmuel told the story, actually Shmuel told the story that they were about to take the father to the hospital for the last time. They sensed he might not come home. So they made mincha right there and there. So they went to the
Wow. By the way, the Rebbe says over here that the same shaila will be for all of us, not only hypothetical, not only for Bar Mitzvah Bachrim and Evish Dacher, but if Mashiach will come now, then Sefiras haOmer will come Minat Torah, Beis HaMikdash will be here. So can we continue counting with a bracha? Until now we were counting Midrabanan. Now we're going to be counting Minat Torah.
That's what is also very well explained on isn't it?
Yeah. The Iker is it's Midrabanan. You're right. She's the Rambam, it's Minat Torah.
2 years ago.
Alright, so there are sheets that it's Minat Torah. But the mice, it's the same Chakira. Because Zman Midrabanan helped for Minat Torah. So, according to the Rebbe's Mahalach, it's not Negeya if it's Minat Torah, what you count now, even if it's not a mitzvah. As long as you counted, you counted. There's a Raya Lazeh, there's a Shita of there's an interesting thing. It's brought in the Mishnah Brura. One of the Goinim of Hai Goin said like this: he had an interesting eitzah, which is not brought in the Paiskim. He had an eitzah which, if someone forgot a day of Sefira, before the next Sefira, before he counts the next night, he should say, Esmoil hayakach v'kach. Yesterday was this in the Sefira. And Hayoim, and now tonight, he go on to count tonight's Sefira. What does it help that he said yesterday's Sefira? He missed the day. He missed the day. So Achronim say, Bas tuter uf, for this that he said it. But Lamais, according to the Rebbe's Chakira, makes sense. Somewhat. Meaning, later of Hai Goin, what's Pshat? Pshat is really be'etzem every night an independent mitzvah. So you missed a night, you missed one mitzvah, but why shouldn't you continue the next mitzvah? The problem is, how can you count the next mitzvah if you're missing part of your counting? How can you say today's 10? You missed 9. How can you say 10 without having 9? So Hai Goin, just say, before you say the Sefira of 10, say the Esmul Hayat Tisha Yamim, and the Hayayim is a Sarayam.
It's going to help you for...
So light the Toisvis that holds that every night's a totally independent mitzvah, no kasha with the other, doesn't make a difference. You don't need to say Esmel. But why is Hai Goin giving the option of Esmel? Because obviously he's going with the Mahalich of the Bahag, the Balach Gedolos, that it's all one, they're connected all the days. Saying a Chanami, it's an independent mitzvah, but it's connected. I can't say Hayoim Asara Yamim if I'm missing Hayoim Tisha Yamim. So therefore, before you Sefira, say Esmael yesterday Hayakach V'kach. Now, Maisa Halacha, that doesn't work because it's not a time of counting nightfall. The next night already you lost it. But if someone counted when he was a katan or an eved, he counted Sefiras haOmer, and it was be'etzem, it was the time of the Sefiras haOmer could be yotzeh. Elamai, you weren't bar chiyuva because you were a katan, you were eved. But be'etzem, it was in the right time. You counted in the right appropriate time. That can help you to keep the cheshbon, because that's associated by she'enkin. If you're just saying esmail, it's not brought la halacha. But this is the havana and the shita of the Hai Goin is going with such a mahalach. It's a very interesting discussion, this whole thing.
Mashiach come, will continue Sefiras haOmer, or will...
So this is the Shaila. Emma says it's very hard to understand this thing. The Rebbe addressed it a few times. In later years, the Rebbe addressed it again. You know, Mashiach's going to come, the Beis Hamikdash will be rebuilt, but we didn't have the Korban haOmer. It's too late already. It's supposed to be brought on the second day Pesach, but we didn't bring it. Sfart l'chem mimachas haShabbos miyoyim haviyachem. So how is it going to? Who said it's going to be when Torah when Mashiach will come? Even Mashiach will come, but we don't have the haOmer. So this is a discussion if it could be when Torah today.
So the Kohen Gadol will say, okay, let's do the